All right, guys, welcome back to our Star Wars podcast, still unnamed Star Wars podcast. I'm Sean Williams with my co-host Chip Holton, and we are here today to talk about The Mandalorian, chapter 14, right? Yes,
I think it's 14.
14.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. It is again, I'll go ahead and tell you that there are spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it and then come right back here and listen to us.
Eventually, when we get like a bigger budget, we might do like a spoiler, like a big Jerry Springer kind of like horn.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, but
make it clear.
But big spoilers.
So, there's a lot to talk about in this very short 30-minute episode.
It's the shortest of the season so far.
Shortest of the season, and I don't know, is it the shortest? It's down. It
didn't seem like the shortest. That's the great thing about this episode is it did not seem like the shortest at all. It had so much action.
Yeah, absolutely flew by. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and run through the episode, give our initial thoughts. The episode started with Mando on the Razor Crest. We'll get to that tragedy.
So the episode title is called The Tragedy, and there's multiple.
There were multiple
tragedies in this episode, yeah.
But we will get to that. The beginning of the episode starts with Mando, and he's getting used to calling Baby Yoda by his name, Grogu.
Also, it's the first time he's laughed, I think.
Yeah.
Like straight up belly laughed.
Yeah.
Which made me so happy.
Oh, man, this episode just was a roller coaster.
So it went from very happy, him doing this little thing with the little knob, the silver knob that Grogu loves so much, to it getting very sad.
Yes. It was a rough one for me, but so they landed on Tython, the Jedi planet, or the origins of, I don't know what canon is now.
There's who knows at this point. There's multiple potential planets that could be the origins of the Jedi, but Tython, I think we spoke of in the last episode, potentially could be one of them, as well as Octu.
And I think we both were wrong. I think we both thought Tython might happen in the last episode, but I'm happy it did. I'm happy it happened now. And at the beginning of the episode, we saw Grogu. He was interacting with some butterflies.
Some blue butterflies.
Some blue butterflies.
From indoor butterflies.
So that is a Kylo Ren connection right there. There is or Ben Solo, actually.
Yeah,
There's
not Kylo quite.
Yeah. A little expanded universe, I guess it's canon, little animated thing that came out that showed Ben Solo interacting with these blue butterflies, which represent peace and resurrection. Just saying. Might talk about that a little bit later. But I thought that was a nice little callback. And then, of course, Grogu goes to is it Seeing Stone, or what was it called?
It's called the Seeing Stone.
Seeing Stone. Which
is very, like J.R.R. Tolkien, kind of like very mystical, which I love.
It was beautiful.
The Seeing Stone. I love it.
And
of course, I found out Tython is basically just L.A.
Yeah, basically. Robert Rodriguez, shout out to him.
Yeah, amazing director, but he loves L.A.
That's right. But of course he went on the Seeing Stone. We saw him meditating with all this blue light emanating from him, and then of course the big moment, Slave One appears.
So
let's let Chip talk about that.
So for the longest time, Boba Fett has been my favorite character of all time. Ever since I saw him in his Mandalorian armor in Episode 5. No real reason. Then I started really researching him, and from the old Legends material, he was my favorite character by far. Everything I read about him, from his cancer, from his daughter, from him being Mandalore, from him swooping in the Yuuzhan Vong War and saving everybody and becoming friends with Han Solo. It was all amazing. So that all got wiped out during the Disney canon. But now we finally have a Boba Fett that has Slave One that swooped in, and of course I knew exactly the sound before I even saw the ship. I knew when it was coming in, and I started tearing up as soon as I heard the sound.
It is a very nostalgic and
very
well-known,
distinct sound. So I'm more than pleased.
And he pulled into the planet, immediately came out wearing his nomad outfit,
Tuscan stuff, man.
And he immediately says, "I'm here for the armor." That sounded a little bit like Liam Neeson, though. I'm here for the armor. So we.
Oh, I'm
that
here
was
for
great.
the armor. You could have done that. It could have been way worse.
It could have been the Clone Wars style. I'm here for
we could have had the D. Bradley Baker.
I'm here for the armor.
I'm here for the armor.
I mean, even I think that was better. No offense to him, great voice actor, but a little bit exaggerated.
No, but
kind of
just to
missed the mark.
hear Morrison's voice back was so nostalgic.
And if you are a Star Wars fan, but not a huge Star Wars fan, Boba Fett is a clone of Jango Fett from Attack of the Clones, and Jango raised Boba as his son. So there's that little connection right there. And of course, Fennec Shand returned. She was from last season, and I believe the same episode where we heard Boba's boots, the chain, was that same episode.
Yeah, so Fennec Shand was basically like an ex-Imperial who was on Tatooine. I don't really quite remember the reason, but the Mando teamed up with this really annoying guy.
Oh, man.
What was his deal? I don't even remember because it's
Toro.
so forget Toro. Yeah,
Toro
so
Caliban.
forgettable. But anyway, Fennec Shand was this amazing assassin who they ended up defeating together, and then the guy ended up betraying him, and Mando won out. Anyway, Fennec Shand was this awesome ex-Imperial sniper or special agent. I'm not quite sure, but she returned this episode because
With a robo stomach.
with a robo stomach, kind of like it's like a Vader stomach.
Very interesting. I didn't know. Hey, the tech in Star Wars, man, it is above and beyond anything.
Well, we got a kind of a power creep going on,
Yeah.
but it's okay because I like Fennec and I'm so glad she's back.
Yeah, I like her. And I like the teaming up of Fennec and Boba. And of course, Boba said the classic line from Attack of the Clones, I'm just a simple man making his way in the... I think he said galaxy in this episode. But
Not in the universe.
yeah, so
The
close
galaxy.
enough.
And then he combined that
With
what line, Sean?
It was from Like My Father Before Me. I don't know if that was the exact quote.
It was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So basically, it was like a combination of a Luke Skywalker quote and then a Jango Fett quote, which is amazing.
I love. I mean, people can
Like
call
my-
that unnecessary fan service, but hey, I mean, it makes sense that Boba would recite something that his dad said all the time.
Of course.
And he had a close connection with Jango, so I think that was perfectly fine fan service. Episode was full of it, but none of it detracted, I don't think. By the way, I want to say this episode is brought to you by Topo Chico.
So we're just I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this label, this amazing Topo Chico label. I'm drinking one that's called Twist of Lime. It is amazing and refreshing, and it is the bubbliest of all carbonated beverages, and it is so refreshing. And y'all should pick up a Topo Chico.
And that is not a paid sponsorship yet, but
Not yet.
we're just throwing that out there that we really like it.
But we really love Topo Chico, especially their new Twist of Lime flavor.
So if you're listening, just throwing that out there. And I want to say Fennec kind of resembled Zam Wessel from Attack of the Clones in her outfit.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I didn't either until somebody pointed it out.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing because this is a way less toxic
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Boba and Fennec. Even though I don't, should we go into the Bounty Hunter video game from?
Yeah, go ahead.
2002. So anyway, back in 2002, this was right after Attack of the Clones came out. There was a Bounty Hunter game for the PlayStation 2, and it basically showed the origins of how Jango Fett became the clone template. It's how he met Zam Wesell and how he met Darth Tyrannus, which is how he knew him at the time, which is definitely Count Dooku. It's an amazing game, and it came off of something else, which we might talk about later, which is Open Seasons, which was a Jango Fett comic book from Dark Horse. But anyway, it basically just showed how Jango Fett became the clone template, and Zam Wesell was a huge part of that, including him discovering Slave One.
And again, Chip is the Fett aficionado over here, so he can answer all questions you may have. But yeah, this was what 5 minutes into the episode, so a lot happened here. And he just wanted his armor back. It was his dad's. Makes sense. And then of course the the ship flies overhead, and it is the Empire remnants from with some stormtroopers. I thought it might be the Dark Troopers at that point, but some stormtroopers came out, and Boba just completely annihilated them with his gaffy stick. And
I'm so glad you said gaffy stick, because I was waiting for somebody to say it, because I've seen so many YouTube reviews today. No one said gaffy stick.
What do they call it?
They said Tusken Raider's staff.
Well,
I was like, it's a gaffy stick, but thank you very much.
To be technical, but if you're listening and you called it, even if you just called it a staff, that is perfectly okay, because we are getting into the extreme nooks and crannies of Star Wars. But yes, he completely just went full
Rambo.
Yeah, with that gaffy stick, and completely just annihilated, and it was so cool to see.
And I think the exact audio commentary was he made short work of the Imperial Stormtroopers' helmets like a piñata, which I think is hilarious, which I think is perfect.
Yes, that's a perfect analogy, perfect comparison there. Of course, when that ship comes and the stormtroopers come, Dim tries to go back to Grogu, and he's pushed back by the force field because he's just that strong.
Three
Three times, over and over. He did what he could to get him back. I mean, but
of course,
Grogu was in the zone.
That's his son.
I mean, Grogu doing. I could say Baby Yoda doing yoga, but
it's Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
it's Baby Yoga.
Baby Yoga.
Yes. Yeah.
So I love that. When the episode first, when I saw the tragedy, I thought, well, what could that be? I thought, well, maybe we might see a flashback to Coruscant when he was when that tragedy happened. So I tried not to get my hopes up, but it doesn't matter. It was still an amazing episode, and I still think we might see that one day. See a little flashback and see who saved him too. There's a million theories about who saved him. It could have been
Mace,
Anakin, Mace, Rex.
I love Rex.
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't heard that, but I love that.
Who knows? But we'll find out. I mean, in Star Wars, it can be anybody. And then, of course, after all that, Boba sees his armor in the Razor Crest, and we see him just in slow-mo, just immediately comes on the screen, and just completely, he made a fan out of me, because I was, again, the guy who knew Boba Fett from the movies and didn't really know too much about him from the old expanded universe. And Chip's over here just smiling, just thinking about it. But tell me what you thought when you saw that.
That was the Boba I have known since I was about probably about 8 years old. About from the old Legends EU. He just really just embodied the warrior culture of Mandalore, and I knew what was coming by the end of the episode. I don't know if we're talking about that yet, but he absolutely just destroyed everybody, and it definitely exhibited everything that I knew about Boba Fett. My opinions about defending Boba Fett, and a lot of people telling me that he was
a lot of great people,
just the greatest people. Always telling me that Boba Fett was underrated.
Boba Fett is the worst character. What did he do? He got eaten by a Sarlacc.
Yours is so much better than mine, dude. That's so good, dude. That's so good. No, but all the Trump references aside, like seriously, no, Boba Fett was lambasted as a underrated character, and only cool because of his armor. But as a old fan of the old EU, and I don't know if y'all know about open seasons, Jango Fett open seasons, and then all of the extended from the Yuuzhan Vong War on, and Boba Fett's cancer, which is a whole nother thing, which we won't talk about today. But
Chip could do a whole 2 hour podcast.
I could do a 2 hour podcast just about Boba Fett and the old Legends canon. But this showed that he is absolutely a warrior, and he is not just some chump who got pushed by a blind guy into the Sarlacc,
right?
Which I think is ridiculous, and I think George Lucas, and I love George for the most part. But I think his idea on Boba Fett and Jango Fett were a little infantile.
He tended to kill off a lot of characters prematurely, and then I think he himself regretted it, i.e. Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. You look at the Clone Wars, which is George Lucas, too.
I mean, a lot of people think it loses impact when people are brought back to life in Star Wars, and I agree. However, there are certain characters who deserve, if they can pull off some redemption and make the characters what they should have been, I'm all for it. And that goes with any character at this point.
And I think if anybody in the Star Wars universe deserves redemption from what was presented in the movies, Boba Fett is the one. Like, you got to think about it. He is the one. Because Jango was cool.
Yeah.
And, young Boba was kind of cool too. I mean, in episode
Clone
2,
Wars, at least.
It
was okay in episode 2.
Episode 2, he commanded Slave 1 for a little bit. Fire! But it's cool though. He was what, like 10?
Yeah, 10 or 11.
So,
Anakin's age.
What were you like when you were 10? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the Clone Wars, especially the later seasons, he showed some really honorable traits, including the deleted or the incomplete story that is him defending innocence against Cad Bane, who is another very infamous bounty hunter in the Clone Wars.
Yes, and
he was literally defending innocence, which I think really ties into this episode a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Cad Bane was brought back somehow. He was supposed to die, but that was an unfinished arc, so who knows. But yeah, I know you talked about you wanted Boba to be kind of a good guy.
A a protagonist, yeah.
And,
I wanted him.
He definitely was. I mean, he was completely indebted to Din, to protecting the child, and I think the whole thing. I realized how honorable he was in this episode, which I didn't. Again, I don't know much about the EU, the old EU, and so it's hard for me to know exactly who Boba Fett is. But by the way, we are going to a Star Wars trivia tonight, and Chip has got his Boba Fett armor all ready to go. So just saying, in case it's not clear that we have the biggest Boba Fett fan, we do. All right, and so, of course, next, Moff Gideon deploys the Dark Troopers.
And another EU thing with the Dark Troopers. Do you know much about the Dark Troopers?
Nope.
So the Dark Troopers showed up in Dark Forces, which was an old computer game starring my old favorite protagonist before the EU wipe, Kyle Katarn. He used to be a rebel spy, then turned Jedi Master, turned Yuuzhan Vong Killer. He had a whole arc in the old Legends EU. But the Dark Troopers were basically dark side infused droids. Essentially,
which is cool,
super cool concept
combination,
and I'm so excited to see how they foil Din and his team, because they're going to give them a fight.
Mm-hmm. I believe
I almost went potty word, but fight. They are going to be definitely a foil for the entire team, probably, because we saw 4 today.
Yeah.
There's at least like 18.
I mean, just in that one, there could be more.
It's an Arkantan's cruiser, so it's still big. It's not like a small cruiser. It's not an Imperial class Star Cruiser, but it's a huge craft. So there's no telling how many Dark Troopers we have going against our main characters and the team that they're putting together. Our little whatever ragtag team of people, probably not
Suicide Squad.
We got a Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are making that comparison.
This is some sort of Mandalorian squad or something. But anyway,
Mandalorian squad.
Anyway, I don't see them going very easily against these incredible.
No, it's gonna be. I kind of have a feeling this season is gonna end on a dark note.
Exactly. Who do you think is going? That's kind of the question that I want to know. Who do you think is going? Definitely not Mando. Definitely not Grogu.
Could be Grief. I don't want it to be.
Oh God!
But it could be.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it could be Grief.
Well, I think Grogu's definitely. I don't know.
God, their little grandparent moment they had, that could really upset.
I don't know.
People.
I think if there's anybody to kill off who would be impactful, but also like a little safer, like you can't kill off Din or Grogu.
Or Bo-Katan,
or Bo-Katan, or
Ahsoka, or Boba.
At least not now.
Maybe Fennec.
And she could, but I don't want to see her die twice.
I would like to see Fennec though defend Grogu at some point.
Yeah, I could see that,
because she seems, which is so weird to me, she seems so evil in the gunslinger.
Yeah,
but she seems very honorable now, which I think is really cool.
I guess that's the whole bounty hunter code, right? I mean, I don't know.
I guess it is.
Just kind of.
So we get to also. Let's
Honor.
talk about Bill Burr.
Yeah, I typed him in.
That's so weird.
I don't know. Yeah, he was a talking point I have written, but
I'm sure they know what they're doing, but
I don't know. I don't know.
I hope it's
care.
Bill Burr, and I hope it's the whole crew, including Natalie Tina, and everybody else, including Clancy Brown, Mr. Krabs. I hope he's in there.
Mr. Krabs and Savage Opress from Clone Wars.
And so, yes.
It's a very recognizable voice.
He is Savage Opress, yeah. So he's definitely the Star Wars veteran.
Yeah.
So I hope he's back in it. I hope it's not just Bill Burr.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't really get why they're bringing in people like this to the show, but whatever. He's fine. That's all I have to say. As long as he's not this main plot point.
And then I think the last thing we talk about is just the Jedi still.
Yes. Oh, I did want to mention the fact that it was confirmed that Jango was a foundling.
Yes. Okay. So this is a whole point, and okay, let me go on this.
No.
Okay.
This is your episode, man.
Yep, man. Listen. So there was in the old EU before Disney, there was a comic series by Dark Horse called Open Seasons. It was all about Jango Fett and the Civil War that Boba mentioned in this episode. It was all about Jaster Moreel and his true Mandalorians versus Death Watch, which came in way back in the Clone Wars. So Death Watch has been a thing. The true Mandalorians haven't. Which is kind of funny because you had the pacifist Mandalorians, but not the true Mandalorians under Jaster Moreel. However, so anyway, they fight. Death Watch wins. Blah blah blah. Jango's entire family gets killed. Jango becomes a bounty hunter. That's how that ends. So that was a really quick synopsis. But today we found out that in Boba's chain link code that you saw him pull up, you had Jango obviously as a foundling, and then Boba's a clone of Jango, but in that chain link, if you saw, you have any kind of thing with the actual translation of Star Wars languages, there was one called Mentor Jaster. So Jaster Moreel, the original, guy who picked up Jango, is actually canon now, which is really cool to me, and I have never been happier.
So he's a real Mandalorian again. Basically, the new canon George kind of said, no, he's not. And I think it's interesting that George is so close with Dave.
And Dave decided that
they've overturned it.
Yeah, he overturned it, man, which makes me giddy as a schoolboy.
Yeah, the fact that he's at the point where he can overturn George's opinions is but that's good. If anybody can do it, it should be Dave.
It should be Dave and John.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that this is Dave's idea. So
yeah,
I'm all for it. I'm happy. I think everybody's happy that is returned. Oh, let's see. Oh, and of course, and then Grogu is kidnapped by the Dark Troopers, which was a little heartbreaking.
The previously stated Dark Troopers. Yep, Grogu is on Moff Gideon's ship.
Yes, and that was so sad. Oh, and of course, I don't know if this happened before, but I believe it did. Before he was taken, the Razor Crest was blown up.
Let's talk about another tragedy during the tragedy was that
was probably the tragedy.
That was
honestly
because guess what? It's really not a tragedy that Grogu got taken because guess what? They're going to save him. So
they're going to save him, and he's strong.
The Razor Crest was one of a kind.
However, it was hard to see Grogu being so frightened and just and
his dark side.
His dark side, yes,
which Ahsoka hinted at.
He was taken captive, and we see a scene at the very end of the episode where he is just slamming these stormtroopers together, just using the Force and just enjoying it too.
Honestly, it reminded me of the Rogue One scene.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Darth Vader in the corridor.
Yeah. That's actually what I thought. Because, Vader was doing that. And here's what is interesting. There's a quick snippet of Kylo Ren's theme song that plays during that. So now, whether it's referencing...
Twice in the episode, actually.
Yeah, twice. Whether it's referencing Kylo or if it's just a First Order hint, because kind of in the same way that the Imperial March is associated with Vader, it's also the Empire theme, so it might be the kind of same situation. However, since we did have those butterflies, that Ben Solo connection there maybe... he's reaching out to young Ben Solo.
So the blue butterflies that Sean's referencing was the very beginning young Grogu was playing with some blue butterflies, and at the same time, we heard the Kylo Ren theme
Yep,
playing.
twice. So during that,
Also, at the end,
yeah, when he's doing this
Grogu
dark
is,
side stuff,
like throwing some stormtroopers against the wall, we heard Kylo Ren's theme, which is I don't know what to do about. that.
I don't know whether it is.
Are we gonna get a 5-year-old Ben Solo coming in, or like what?
We totally could.
I would love that. That would be probably my ultimate.
Yeah,
That's probably my ultimate thing.
be some good redemption. for
Leia
the
and
sequels.
Kylo, or
Yeah.
Han and Kylo.
Well, if Han comes back, it'll probably be Alden.
It'll
which
be
I'm
Alden,
for.
which I think he did a great job. And
Yeah,
Solo is one of my favorite Disney films. So
And I don't know how what the Kylo Ren connection is, but in Star Wars, you as the composer, you never put in a theme accidentally.
no, the composition is 50% of everything that is Star Wars, from John Williams to every other composer that's been working on Star Wars.
So yeah, it's absolutely intentional, whether or not it's a connection, and it totally could be that he was reaching out to Ben Solo.
I hope I see a 5-year-old Ben Solo.
I mean,
With his mom or his dad or with Luke or just by himself, somehow he gets there. I would love to see a Ben Solo.
now who would play Leia? Because I think we have Sebastian Stan. I feel like my gut feeling is that he's been cast.
I think it would be so short that they could do a de-aging
Yeah, that's true.
thing.
But if they
Continue with it.
yeah, they continue with it, they might not want to go that route. However,
Billy Lord.
yeah, she can play
Yeah.
2 Star Wars characters.
Doesn't matter. If they put like Billy Lord in CGI, she looks just like Leia.
Yeah.
Honestly. So
Yeah, so she totally could,
Yeah.
and that would be honorable if they can just
I'd
make her a little
I'd
bit
be
different.
so into it. Honestly, I still think it's gonna be Cal Kestis and his crew, because they were all based on real people except the pilot
Yeah.
who was an alien. But
I'm kind of leaning towards less of that being a chance now.
Really?
Yeah, just through the
Context.
Kylo Ren theme song playing. I don't necessarily think it's gonna be Ben Solo, but I just don't see that being Cal. But again, Cal would be a safe choice while also being, fans would be happy. So it definitely has a good chance. I still don't think it's Ezra. I never even thought that it could be Ben Solo, but that is a
that is a new
possibility.
thing, especially with the music cues and the blue
Yeah.
butterflies. I think
Again, that's not just, they don't do that accidentally. So there's something there. I don't know what, but hopefully we'll find out soon.
But I'm so excited for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead. You want to talk about what you think is going to happen?
I have no idea at this point.
Yeah, that's the
'Cause,
thing.
Like, I had some ideas from the Ahsoka episode, but they totally blew me away. I didn't think they
Subverted
I
your
didn't think.
expectations
Yes, they did.
again.
Thank you, Ryan. No, never mind.
Dave.
I'm not going to say that. Dave Filoni. No, but I didn't think they would reach Tython this week. For one thing,
I thought, yeah, and I don't remember what I said. I thought if they were going there, that the Jedi wasn't going to show up then. So I knew that wasn't going to happen. I mean, that you can't end the season.
so right.
or-
I think the Jedi is going to show up in episode 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever that is, we got 2 episodes to find a Jedi.
That will be the last scene. I really.
I
believe-
think the big shot Mando putting together a team is going to be next week, and then actually getting to
Yeah, the nitty gritty.
getting down to
Nate. I'm hoping for a good hour, at least an hour long.
an hour,
episode.
so we can actually spring Grogu.
Yeah,
That's going to be next week. We're going to get a long episode. I think that's my prediction. We're going to get a long episode to spring Grogu.
Grogu.
Goku. He's going to Kamehameha and blow everything up. But no, Grogu. He's going to make sure that's next week. We're going to do the prison break, essentially.
Yep.
And then the finale, I think,
It's just going to be the big epic showdown
a showdown.
with everybody. I mean, it is going to be the Suicide Squad equivalent of Star Wars.
But don't call it that, though.
That won't.
No, not the Suicide Squad. Call it the in-game.
Endgame. Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like
Way
that.
more of the in-game, I hope.
And that's more of what I'm picturing in my head anyway. But
And I hope for Ahsoka still. I know it's not going to happen, but
I think
I still hope for it.
I think she'll show up.
She might come up at the very end, and then
Ahsoka, Bo-Katan,
and then,
Rex.
and then when everything is finalized, the Jedi is going to show up.
Yeah.
Whoever that Jedi is going to show up at the very end.
I don't know if he's actually going to come in and like save the day.
No, he won't. He won't.
I think he's going to be like kind of an epilogue type. Like they're going to have
absolutely.
the dark ending, and then it'll fade, and then they'll show like this overview of Tython or the Sing Stone, and we'll just see the Jedi walk up, and there'll be some hint at whoever it is, whether it's a green lightsaber or just a hooded figure. I think we would kind of know that would probably be Luke if he's in his dark hooded robes, or a metal hand. I thought about that. I thought that would be kind of cool to like see.
To bring it back to the Force Awakens.
Yes, to see him putting his metal hand on the ground, like sensing out that we would know who that
But
Jedi
does he
is.
have his metal hand at that time?
Yeah, right?
When did he get his metal hand? Because he always had the synth hand for a long time.
Yeah, but remember that one was kind of shot in Return of the Jedi, and he put the glove on it, so I think it was kind of messed up.
That's true.
So whether it's gloved,
Whatever it is, my number one wish, I guess. What is yours? It's Luke, right?
yeah, Luke for sure.
Luke, and then my second wish is Ezra, but I know it's gonna be Cal.
Right?
For
Yeah.
number 2.
I don't want it to be Ezra right now because I want the search to be
him
its
and
own
Ahsoka
thing.
and Sabine have their own show coming up, and I don't want anything to mess with
Yeah,
that.
and I wanted to mention. Do you think Sabine's going to show up in this season? I don't think she will.
No. Unfortunately, I hope she does. I hope she's part of the last, the breakout crew.
Yeah.
But I doubt it.
And
She's doing something. She's looking for Ezra right now, whereas Ahsoka was
Right.
looking for Thrawn. I think there's two different
two
things
different
going on.
Yeah. I think there's a good chance that Rex still shows up because there were rumors of him, and
Really?
yeah, there were rumors.
I bet he's in an N1 starfighter.
Oh man, that would be cool.
Wouldn't that be cool? Have old clone trooper
man.
Rex and an old Naboo starfighter.
Yeah, and I kind of think maybe the fact that Boba has a shaved head might indicate the fact that Timur Morrison shaved his head for Captain Rex, and he's got a beard. And
I would love to see Rex, and I would love to see him kick butt next to Boba Fett and the Mando and Ahsoka if she can somehow find her way back.
I think we'll see Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, maybe Rex. We'll see Fennec.
Oh, definitely Fennec, and Fennec might be. Fennec is definitely my new favorite Mandalorian introduced character, like side character, besides Mandalorian. And
After
Grogu.
this episode, for sure.
She's so cool, and she's clearly honorable, which is
Yeah, that's a good.
because she wasn't in the Gunslinger.
Right.
She was like a total villain.
Yeah, so
But then that other dude who was totally annoying.
yeah,
That's probably like Dave Filoni being like, "We're so sorry for introducing this dude."
yeah, oh yeah. I think he like talked trash about Rise of Skywalker, which okay, you can have your own opinions, but man, that dude has no right to talk about what's bad in Star Wars when he was the worst part of this show
Yep.
by far.
Yep.
And I'm not like a critic of acting in Star Wars, and that was bad. It just took me out of it and was just cringy.
Like people say Jar Jar Binks is bad, but no, you don't understand that until you.
Hey, and let's talk. We maybe got 5 minutes or so.
Yep.
Let's talk about. Or, I mean, it's a little premature, but let's talk about season 3. Where do you think it's going to go?
Well, I saw something about Jar Jar.
Yes, I saw. Well, we saw the Naboo. They are building, rumored to be building some N1 starfighters and Naboo sets, which is honestly the planet, even more than Coruscant, that I wanted to see in the sequels, and would have made more sense as a resting place for Luke and Leia. Just saying.
I agree. I
Or the
I would love
sabers.
to see Naboo, although I'd love to see Coruscant at some point. Let's.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Come on, let's bring on the Coruscant. Come on,
Yeah.
come on. But I believe Naboo is a little bit easier for them to do.
Yeah,
And which I love Naboo. I love all the prequel planets, every single one. I think I don't know of a single prequel planet that I hate.
No, even Geonosis, which was a desert planet, was still more interesting than
Tatooine,
Jakku or
I was going to say
Pisana.
Tatooine. I was going to say Tatooine,
Or even
Geonosis. Geonosis had the hive mind kind of thing, which was like
Yeah,
totally different than Tatooine.
Yeah, and that's
maybe
the
not
thing.
more interesting than Tatooine, but it was totally different.
Yeah.
and it was also a desert planet. But Jakku was Tatooine.
yeah, and Pisana was also Tatooine.
Pisana was also Tatooine.
Yeah,
You
from
had
Rise of Skywalker.
So you had Tatooine, the flat, kind of like sand fields, and then you had Tatooine, the rocky Tatooine.
Yeah.
Mostly, and I think they were definitely playing towards.
Now, if Jar Jar could, I think Jar Jar could show up. People are at the point now where the prequels are loved, and that's just. I think there's a chance that they'll bring him in, and they'll.
And if you look at the comics, Tatooine has such a pivotal role in the entire history of the planet. So
And and Jar Jar was it Aftermath?
Yes,
Where they
one of the Aftermath books, Jar Jar had his own little side chapter.
where he was a jester, basically.
Yeah, 'cause
street
he
clown.
got put aside as a senator because he was the one who allowed the emperor to take power, which is kind of really sad to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, he finds a little child orphan who inspires him. They go off on adventures together. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
I could see him showing up, and
I would love it. Same with Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth was introduced in that same exact series.
Right. Yeah.
Cobb Vanth was in the Boba Fett armor. All that was introduced in that same series where Jar Jar went off with this kid
Yeah.
to do hilarious hijinks, I guess.
I would love to see more from the books brought to screen. And Cobb Vanth is going to show up at the end of the season.
I think
kind of forgot about him.
he's going to be one of the crew.
Yeah, it's going to be everybody.
And he's going to wear a cowboy hat. I know he is.
And yeah, so I'm excited. I don't know where the series is going to go in season 3, but I was watching the whole episode and smiling and just like that was just like.
I had a goofy smile the whole time.
There was nothing.
Tears running down, snot running down my nose.
I think
just goofy.
I think a lot of the issue with the sequels was that it had to live up to so much more, and they had and something about endings. Having to end the story is a lot harder. So they kind of get a pass from me in certain situations where it would have been. It's less controversial. There's nothing controversial in The Mandalorian, so far at least. So it's safe, but it's fun to actually watch something and not like be stressed about, okay, what if this doesn't end? Like, what if they ruin everything else? So just watching that and just being full of joy and not like worrying about how this Skywalker saga is going to end. It's the most fun I've had watching Star Wars in a long time. And
and they brought in everything that I want them to. So far, the fan fiction has been amazing, and it's been definitely fan fiction, but it's been subdued to me to the point where it's perfect. It's a perfect medium.
Yeah, perfect blend. Everybody, I feel like, should be happy with the balance that we get. It's a great show on its own, and it's even bringing in the fan service it's not distracting. So I'm loving it. I'm so excited to see what happens in the last 2 episodes. But I think that's all we're going to talk about for today. It was a short episode of Mandalorian. It's a little bit shorter for us too. We're going to try to keep these podcasts a little bit shorter. We were just so excited to talk and just get everything off our chest on last week's episode. So, again, once we don't have the title as of recording, but we might have it by the time we put it out. And then once we do, hopefully you'll follow us there and wherever we release a podcast. And until next week, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.